Hi folks, it's John Nizman from lastchanceautorestore.com. Just a quick update on this Porsche. This is a 57 Porsche kit car. One of the videos that you saw a little while ago is we had the engine and we just placed it in the engine bay. The car was down on the ground and we just showed you from up top where we had just placed the engine in. We set the carburetors on. We were setting up the linkage for both dual carbs. The fuel pressure regulator was installed on the firewall. So now, just like to share with you, there's a little more progress on it, but I'd like to look at it from underneath. So what we've done now, I think the camera can hopefully come in a little bit closer. So now from underneath, you can see the engine block in the detail. So on the bench when we rebuilt this motor, we degreased and cleaned, and then we painted it with a commercial grade gloss black paint. And we went ahead and we did the heads and so on. And you can see we have all new push rod tube seals. There's new push rods, new lifters, and all that kind of fun stuff. So these sleeves are an upgraded sleeve that's coated, and they come this way from our supplier, and they're spring loaded. So later on in life, it's fairly common for the more of the performance style engines for these little seals on each end, push rod tube seals, to seep over time. So rather than having to pull the heads off and do a whole bunch of crazy stuff, these are removable. You take the valve cover off and then the rocker arms, you pull the push rod tubes out, and then they're spring loaded. So you can remove them, replace the seals, and put it back in. So it's not as big of a job as pulling the heads completely off to have access to those seals. So just a small detail thing. The other thing I'd like to point out is the exhaust system, and this is really going to help this engine and make it happier. So this is, as I mentioned in an earlier video, this is a reproduction Volkswagen aftermarket header type dual pipe system, and it's tuned. So these pipes are tuned, which is really going to make this engine happy. And then we've got the chrome tips, and then what we've done is we've set it in place and dry fitted it. Because this car is going to be driven in the summer and nice weather, we don't need the big bulky heater boxes. So we've eliminated the heater boxes, and now we have these tubes which they refer to as a J tube. So it's basically a tube that's made for this application that comes from the head, comes down, and connects to this header system. You can see from the profile, this is going to be a really appealing look, and it's going to serve a purpose. So the tailpipes are on a little bit of an angle, and it's not sticking out, and it's just a nice subtle little exhaust system that's really going to help with this engine. And you can see the detail on how clean everything is right now and how things are really coming together. Up through, you can see we have our fittings. We have this is kind of important too, I should point out, and it's a Mealy oil filter, and it's an adapter kit with high pressure lines, or with pressure lines I should say, and then we've put this special high heat tubing to protect over top of this oil system. So what's happening is, rather than just relying on the little bit of oil that's going to flow through in a little screen filter here, we've added an auxiliary, so it's a bigger volume pump. We've added fittings to it, and it's a line that's going to set pressure through the, send the oil through the oil filter and then back through. So it's cleaning the oil continuously. So not only do we have the screen here, but we have the additional oil filter. If we come from this side, I think the camera should be able to pick it up to show it's an aluminum mounted housing with fittings, and then we have a high quality oil filter. So easy access to the filter, and then we have extra cleaning here, plus we have the additional Volkswagen standard screen that's inside the block. So this will just keep the engine a little bit happier, and our client wants to be able to drive this car a little bit more aggressively than normal, so we think it's a nice touch just to add that feature. So we'll continue to give you updates as we work on this 57 Porsche replica. I'm John from lastchanceautorestore.com.